something interesting to say? Rack? Hey guys.
You sounded great.
Oh,
I can't wait to hear your set.
Thanks, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Keaton Simons. This is Racket Mag. We're in the stairwell. It sounds like a racquetball court in here. It's echoing. We're in a very high traffic area here. Racket Mag. I'm Keaton Simons.
It's the new year, and
yes.
I read your blog, and you said you turned 30.
I did. Yes.
Yeah. Any brags about that age? Big for you? Nothing?
No.
No? Okay. So, for your career up to this point, what have you realized being in the industry this long?
So many things. The importance of patience and persistence, but consistent. As well. You know, it's important to be persistent and patient. You've got to be on the right focus. You got to stay on the track.
And also,
and don't ever forget how much you love music. Let that be your center always. Otherwise, it's like crazy. Come on now. No, this is all part of the thing.
This is awesome.
You guys say hi to Racket Mag.
Okay. And then also I read that you said you would amass 10,000
That's not working.
live. So are you keeping tabs on that, or just kind of like a
I'm
guesstimation?
keeping rough tabs on it. It's a tough, yeah. I mean, basically, I'm shooting to just play and perform as much as possible, and I've really started kind of just doing it as much as I can. Like even when I'm alone, if I would otherwise be just noodling around on guitar, I'll be kind of focusing on singing my songs, doing the stuff that I'm going to be doing in sets and stuff like that. So it's a huge goal. It's one that is not easy to reach performing, you know, because it's so, you know, I don't perform for 6 hours a day, but I can practice for 6 hours a day, and I have in the past. So I'm way over it for as far as playing guitar and singing, but playing guitar and singing, performing, not there.
Okay, so then after performing your songs over and over again on tour, how do you keep it fresh every show? How do you make it different?
I have a trick that not a lot of people use. I think a lot of times people try to recapture the place they were in when they wrote that song and stuff like that. For me, I don't find that does it. For me, the best thing is to find the place of myself in that very moment, and what that song means to me right now. Because that moment, the moment we're in, is always going to be unique. And in that sense, it's, you know, you have the opportunity to have a new perspective on something, you know, that you've already done. And that's how I do it. I just try and think about, what does this mean to me right now? It's never going to be right now again. It's never been right now before. It's right now, right now.
Cool. Okay, so then your single, who is this about? Who is your skin? Who is your skin?
Oh, you know, it's kind of, it's really not about anyone specific. It's not about any one specific person, but it's about the idea of kind of where one ends and another begins. You know what I mean? Like that. Sometimes it can be a real gray area. We as people are simultaneously completely interconnected and interwoven, and also separate and distinct and individual. And sometimes those lines get blurred. You know, they both exist at the same time, and sometimes, you know, people get confused with when to apply which one. So that's more what it's about generally.
Yeah. And then for songwriting, do you find, what's your biggest inspiration when you write a song?
It's tough. I try to find inspiration literally everywhere. There's a feeling of inspiration. You know, it's something that happens. There's no like, you know, reliable, like every time I do this I feel this feeling. It's like seeing the sunset, or seeing the ocean, or hearing the ocean, or a certain like smell or something like that. You know, that kind of thing is inspiring. But then also listening to music that I love is inspiring. Meeting people, talking to people, performing, and you know, just really everything. But it's that I know the feeling. I know what I'm looking for, and I get it.
So then, for your album title, how did you come up with Can You Hear Me?
Well, I made a record a few years ago, and it never came out. And I was not allowed to release it, and then I wasn't allowed to re-record the songs either. So all my songs were tied up, and so it's just been years and years and years of me just kind of dying to be heard. And now finally I've been able to release this debut record, and that's why I'm going.
You're gonna be home in LA tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'm in LA.
Oh, how does that make you feel to be home after all this time?
I love when I get to play in LA, especially when it's been like a while and stuff like that. The El Rey is such a great theater, but I'm really excited to get on the road. I'm really excited to just be out. I prefer being on the road. I'll get a little rest this morning. But when I get to do great shows like we're going to do tomorrow,
all right, so then let's go back to time when you got your degree, right?
Yes.
With ethnomusicology.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so give me a definition of that.
Ethnomusicology is just simply the study of world music. That's what it is. So I've studied music from all over the world, and I kind of fell into it in college. That was the music program that was offered, and I was just going to do whatever the hardcore music thing was. And it was a Southeast Asian performing arts and culture class, and it was amazing. I started off by studying Indonesian gamelan music, and then I ended up just going all of the world musically from there. So West African music, Tuvan music, just everything. Indian music, Turkish music.
Okay, so here's a fun question. If you could pick any time period in music history to live in and perform with anybody, what time period would that be, and who would you want to perform with?
For me, that would have to be late 60s with the Beatles. That's what it would be for me. That I think about that all the time. It's kind of like with my sensibilities musically and the stuff that I love and where my ear goes and stuff like that. I feel like I would be very successful in that. And I'm a huge crazy Beatles fan. So,
what's your favorite album?
Probably Abbey Road. If I was going to choose, it's very difficult to choose a favorite album. There's so many great albums.
Did you think of covering one of their songs?
Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of, I've seen a ton of different songs. I mean, when I play shows, I play mostly my original stuff, but every now and then I'll throw covers in there. I love playing Beatles.
How did it feel, speaking of the Beatles, with the John Lennon songwriting competition? You
Oh,
were
it's
second place.
It's great.
Yeah. What was your reaction to getting that?
It was a big surprise for me because I didn't even know that I was entering it. To be perfectly honest, there's a lot of little things like that kind of, I've got some great people on my team, and one of the great things they do is surprise me with little things. They've submitted me for this or that other thing. Every now and then I win, and then it's a great little surprise. But I've known the John Lennon people forever, since the very beginning. So it was so cool to kind of come full circle and really be a part of it.
And then you were earlier this month at the John Lennon songwriting bus.
That's right.
Yeah, what did you take away from that experience?
Well, it's not the first time I've done it, and every time I do it, it's absolutely wonderful. Those guys are so energetic. They really love music, and their whole goal is to bring an education of music to children and to people all over the world. And they travel this bus. They're so dedicated. They do a great job. They've got that bus is like the coolest thing ever. It's like Star Trek inside. It's completely high tech. The soundproof doors that just go close. And like really cool bugs and all this audio and video equipment and V drums in there, like drum pads with their headphones. It sounds like real drums. Oh, it's so cool. Really, really cool.
Talking about your music videos. How did you work with KG from
Tenacious D?
Yeah, and Tom Green.
This young director and my management and myself, we all brainstormed about ideas